I got a few bifaces I want to nap before tomorrow. I don't know if I'll get to all these. These two are raw and this one is heat treated. I'm going to do the heat treated one on video because I don't want to mess with the other ones. I've been napping the raw stuff all week, and sometimes it gets on my nerves. So let's see what this looks like. I've got several heat treated bifaces. I think this is one of my longest ones. Yeah, 5 3/8. I tend to nap the biggest ones first, and then as the week progresses, I get to my smaller ones. Anyway, I bifaced it first and then put it in the heat treat. But you'll see as I heat treat it, it'll change colors as I get down into the middle. Let's see. I forgot I got my steel tool over here in my vise. Can you hear me? No? Yeah, I had my steel rod in the vise over there. I'm modifying the other end. You'll see next week. It takes me forever to work on my tools. I got to be very persnickety about the tools. That's why I don't like doing it. Okay. Oh, by the way, I posted on my Patrick Blank channel a couple of videos. A couple of philosophy related videos. What am I going to post on the Allergic Hobbit channel? I got my antler ready. I need to make some tools for that channel. But I got my antlers. Let's see. I fished my antlers out of my storage unit. I think these are big enough for billets. I know it's big enough for other tools. Yeah, whitetail. This one is definitely big enough for a billet, so I'll be using this one. I'll just cut it up. Some of these big tines can be carved or sanded down to shape as pressure flakers. I can make a pressure flaker, pistol grip pressure flaker out of some of this stuff. Maybe not there, but up here. Yeah. We'll see. You'll see. I call them pistol grip pressure flakers because of the way I'm holding them. You'll see. If you haven't watched the other videos, I prefer the pistol grip flakers over the simple tine. Alright. Where did I get the idea for the pistol grip? From my brain. Alright, these are good. Some of these are savable as debitage flakes. Usable debitage. Oh man. I don't know if I'm going to offer too many debitage flake boxes in the future, because basically selling those just pays for shipping, which is fine. I can get rid of my debitage, but I could be spending my time boxing up other stuff that's more valuable. Yeah. This is critical that I hit this just right. Yep. These strikes can ruin the whole thing. Easily. If I don't tiptoe, if I don't tiptoe, it could easily get ruined. I don't know. It's a risky flake, but it got it. It went all the way up and got that little area that I wanted to get. Sweet. Alright, so I thinned down the areas that I was thinking I was needing to thin down, except up here near the tip. Got the fan going. Another 100-degree day. I'll probably have the fan going all summer. Depends on where I end up. I might end up traveling next month. While I was knapping yesterday, I was crushing a lot of edges. Today seems better. You know, you go through stages. On some days, like everything could go smoothly. Then you forget how to flint knap. You start crushing everything or creating step fractures. Then you remember again and it goes smoother. I don't know if I'm the only one. Probably the only one that happens to on a regular basis. Yeah, when I say forget, I end up making newbie mistakes. I had a feeling I was going to do that, but I just tried it anyway. Tried it anyway. Sometimes it'll work. With heat treat, you can do a direct frontal attack on step fractures sometimes. I mean, I can always do it. Sometimes it'll work and other times it won't. Just roll the dice. Okay. Move over. Hit it again. Ouchie. A little bit too much. Too much gusto. Because I hit it harder than the other time. The other time obviously was sufficient, but it just didn't go. I lean into it with a little more force and look what happens. It looks like it did not need a little more force. It's just something that had to do with the flaker or the platform or the striking area. Something had to do with something other than the force. There it is. All that just for that one little steppy area. And to try to thin down the mass at the tip. The overall goal is to thin down the mass at the tip. So I can have a nice taper. I think I've rounded down too much. Yep, ouch. I could feel the shock from that one. You're not supposed to be able to feel the shock from these hits. if you're hitting and you're feeling a lot of shock like that, if it's hitting and you get a lot of shock, you're not doing it right. You're not supposed to be feeling any shock or minimal shock. If you're doing indirect percussion and you're getting a lot of banging and shock and a lot of what seems to be recoil, you're not doing it right. It's minimal shock, minimal recoil. Take a shot, shoot that flake, there should be minimal recoil. I'm going to use that as a Flintknapping term. Some guys, the light bulb goes off. Really? And I say, yeah, shouldn't be much shock at all. If you're getting a lot of shock, that means you're either napping something too hard, or the platforms are too stout, or you're hitting too hard or something. Because this is not, this technique is not supposed to recoil. It's not supposed to generate a lot of shock. You're supposed to get just, you know, flakes, especially on heat treat or obsidian, flakes like that with not much effort at all. As far as energy in the strike. Or in the aim. You don't have to aim all that carefully because the flakes are wide. It's not like they have a small little pathway. They fan out. Supposed to anyway. Yeah, I had one guy that was doing indirect percussion, and he told me, this was a while ago, but he told me, how do you stand all the force against your hand? My hand is so sore from doing the indirect percussion. I said, which hand? You know, the hand I'm holding in the workpiece. I can't stand it. It's just creating too much pain in my hand. I said, if you're experiencing pain or anything like that, because of the force you're using, you're either using rock that's way too tough or you're not doing something right. And the light bulb went off. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Because I don't see you with pain on your hands. And I said, no, I don't get pain on this hand. I get pain on my wrist on this side. Mainly from the billet use. Especially if I swing it, it's even worse. If I just hold it this way, it's not as bad. That's why I switched over. One of the reasons. Yeah, now that I'm going to be venting on my philosophy channel, I don't know if I'll talk philosophy on this channel. Yeah, I'm all vented out. Really? You might say, really? No more philosophy? You wish. Haha. You wish. If I can talk smack about philosophers I don't like, I'm going to do it if I remember. Yep. I mean, it's not, you know, I don't want to expend energy disliking some philosophers. They're mostly outdated anyway, so they're not relevant, so it doesn't matter if you like them or not. The ones that are not relevant, I don't worry about them. I don't like them, but I don't worry about them. Some of the earlier Greek philosophers. They're interesting to study because they had extremely little bit of knowledge. Extremely little knowledge, and yet they were able to come up with systems of how to find the truth. So you don't need to know too much about trivia to actually know how to get closer to the truth. It's not the amount of knowledge you have, it's how you go about obtaining it. You're better off with a little bit of knowledge that's good than a lot of knowledge that's not good. What kind of knowledge is not good? Just useless trivia, and I think we all know what that is. A lot of us are full of useless trivia. Used to be a game called Trivial Pursuit. That was for the people who had useless trivia in their brains. And at that time, apparently, there happened to be a lot of people. Because the game was popular. Yeah. Like, how many wives did Henry VIII have? Why is that even relevant? It's just useless trivia. It don't matter how many wives he had. Not to me, anyway. But people want to know these things. They'll say, well, how many wives did he have? I want to know. Tell me. He had a lot. He was a farthead. Oh, yes. Flintknapping term. Farthead. No, he accomplished a lot. Some people will say, yeah, no, he accomplished a lot. Well, obviously he accomplished many marriages. That's for sure. I don't know if you would call that a lot. But yeah, I know what you mean. A lot of history is the study of what powerful people do with their power. What they do with their authority. It's drilled into our heads. The activities of powerful people. Why is that? Why do we need to know the activities of powerful people? It's almost as if they're kind of indoctrinating us to think that powerful people are cool. Almost, right? Why would that help the government, thinking powerful people are cool? I wonder. Most of them are fartheads. Yeah. You guys watch Russell Brand at all? He starts off his videos with little fart bird. Yeah, I think that's apropos for this political talk. Yeah. Fart talk about fart heads. Yep. So see, I'm not the only one. I imagine he doesn't do that because he's thinking along the same lines as I am. It's just a strange coincidence. Alright, that was it. That's the last of the annoying lumpy spots. Everything else I think I can live with it. Still a little bit lumpy up there. I took a lot there. I don't know how to attack that other lumpy area. Safely attack it. I will attack it unsafely. How's that? Okay, here we go. No, I need the glove off. There you go. That's a little bit better. Yes, indeed. It's getting more dicey by the minute. Beautiful. Heat treat is so nice. Now, if I can thin the rest down with pressure, I'll have it made. Because I don't dare hit it again with the percussion in that area. Unless I have a death wish. Yes, nicely. I had a question recently. How do I protect my fingers from getting smacked? I back off, or I put them on the side where I think the flake will go. I used to drive flakes into this finger or this finger quite a bit. You learn after a while. There's only so many times you get the flakes driven into your finger or your fingernails broken that you move them. You move the fingers a little bit. It's dicey. Very risky. I had a comment recently. Oh, I cracked it. I cracked this. Right there. You see it? That's a crack. Dang it. I'm gonna have to put this in the Brooks and bifaces. That's a definite crack right there. That ruins the whole piece. Like if you're doing it to spec, that one thing will just wipe it out. No more. It's not a good piece anymore. If it goes, yeah, it goes all the way through. That one crack just ruined this. And I didn't break it, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it now. I didn't notice that earlier. I'll have to trim it back all the way. Or dish that out and make a weird point out of it. I cannot have that crack in the finished piece. See that? I cannot have that in there. I don't know. Where else might there be a crack? And the longer I let it stay in there, probably the more it will open up. Is it a healed crack or is it a real crack? It's a real one, looks like. Yeah, it's a real one. I think I might have had another one right there. So I wasn't looking close enough. I didn't notice these cracks. There's one right here too. One there, one there. Let me see, what can I do with these? What can I do with this now? I'm gonna have to lose a lot of that edge. I could just dish it out and then figure out what I'm gonna do with it later. Dish it out and get rid of that crack. Yeah, but then it'll be too narrow and too thin right there. Would the aluminum have been better? I don't know, maybe. I don't think the aluminum would have driven those long thinning flakes. It's very crackly along that edge. Quite crackly. So I was looking at the numbers today in my head, and I'm not going to be able to make big money with the Flintknapping. It's pretty obvious you can't make all that much money. It's proportional to how big the pieces are. The amount of money goes up as the size of the pieces goes up. It's directly proportional to the size of the pieces. But you can also look at the width to thickness ratio. You know, the length is the size of the piece. The width to thickness ratio is another measurement, and the width is another measurement. So you can multiply those together and get the value of the piece. You know, the width to thickness ratio, if it's like 8 to 1, it's going to be more valuable than 6 to 1. So you use the 8 in there. And it's 6 inches long times 8, 8 to 1. That's what? 6 times 8, 48. And then if it's like 2 inches long, 2 inches wide, times 2. 48 times 2 is 96. That's probably the maximum you can get out of that piece for money. I was thinking about trying that formula just to get an idea of how much, when I'm planning on doing different things, how much money to invest in rocks. Can it be thinned down to 8 to 1? Because 8 to 1 brings a lot more than 5 to 1 as far as the value. Yeah. We'll see. I really didn't want to try to sharpen this edge because it's got all that nasty crunchy stuff in it. It's hard to get a good edge on that crunchy stuff. Dang it. Oh well. I'm going to continue to use the steel anyway. Just not going to hit as hard. Try not to take so much off at once. And then stop when I'm not getting sufficient return investment on my strikes. Dang it, this is not going good because it's got a scoop out right there, and I was hoping maybe to take off that part and leave this part for the tang on a knife handle. But if I switch it around and put the tang down, I mean the scoop out there, you know, to be like this right there. That's the thick one. This is the thin part. Oh well. I don't know. And of course, every step fracture reduces the piece by about $5. Every big step fracture, you can just take off $5. Yeah. At least. Okay, if you leave a step fracture in there, that's -5. At least. That one right there, another $5 off. That kind of thing. I'm sure I can come up with a formula. But I need to, do more auctions. It's one reason why I do the auction format, because I get to know what the market value is, what people will pay, what the true value is before I start setting prices, because I'm eventually going to start setting prices on some of my work. It's coming, but I'm not going to set prices on all of my work, just some of it. Yeah. Especially if I need to recover any investment as far as material costs, especially. Dang, this crunches. I get lots of premature flickeration on this one. Alright, need some light on the situation. Yeah. It's already getting dark out. Is that late already? It's that late already. See, I grind a lot. Yeah, only when I'm doing this kind of pressure. Let's start on this end. Get in the groove, and then I can hit the tip. Once I get a little bit of practice on this, then I'll do the tip. Yeah. It's very crunchy. Yeah, but most beautiful stone is the hardest to knap. Yeah. Not always the case, but I find it happens quite a bit. I still haven't figured out a formula for attractive stone. How much does that affect the price of the piece? It's all over the place. Sometimes people like it a lot, and sometimes it's meh. So I don't know. Sometimes what I think looks really nice is meh. Not worth anything. Nothing worth extra. Not worth anything extra. Some people, all they want is no step fractures, nice smooth surface, and a sharp edge. Don't matter the material. Some people will buy something that's not that well made, but the material makes all the difference. So they go, yeah, I want that. Just because of the material. Just give me it. Take my money. You better take my money. Yeah. I find it interesting. The variables are interesting. Well, that flake went pretty far, right? But not far enough. Those flakes will wear you out. Yep. No, not like that. Yeah, like that. Zoom right in there. Another zoom right in there. I like it. I like the heat treats. I didn't need a slotted pad to do it either. Haha. I slept in late today. I don't have that weird fatigue banging up against the inside of my brain. Yeah. Some days I say to myself, I'm getting up bright and early so I can do a lot. And as soon as I get out of bed, I'm dragging all day. So what is it? What good does it do? I learned I'm just gonna sleep until I don't feel sick anymore. Yeah. There you go. Wake up, say hello to the sun. If I feel sick, I say goodbye to the sun and go back to sleep. Yeah. False alarm. False alarm, son. I can do that now that I don't have that regular hours job. I still got a job, but it's not regular hours. I just end up doing it at the end of the day. I do all my errands in the morning and get all that easy stuff, relatively speaking, out of the way in the morning, and then get to the hard stuff the rest of the night. So instead of working 8 hours a day like I do, or 9 hours, or 10 hours at a regular job, I'm working like 12 to 14 hours doing flint knap related and video stuff. Thinking about flint knapping, doing flint knapping. Rearranging and cleaning up my flint knapping stuff. I got so many flakes and debitage in my landscaping. My goodness. A lot of it is really cruddy that needs to be heat treated. And I don't know if I'm going to heat treat that concrete. I mean, it's all concrete stuff. Why would I waste money on it when I can heat treat this beautiful stuff? Yeah, why would I waste? Because I got stuff like this. No, hold on. I got a ton of stuff like this. I don't know what it is. That even if I heat treat it, still looks like that. Yeah. Why would I waste my money on electricity on that stuff when I can heat treat this stuff? Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Anyway. Oops. Yeah, that's why I don't put the lamp in front of me a lot of times. All right. Somebody called those chicken bulbs. I like that. Chicken bulbs. That's what I use to light up my area. This tripod's got 2 chicken bulbs on it. Works very well. I'm gonna get some chickens too, but not here. If I buy a place up north, first thing I'm putting on that place is some chickens. Yeah. Why chickens? Eggs and drumsticks and stuff, yeah. Oh yes. Eggs, wings, and drumsticks. To my heart's content. And my heart will not be content until I got a lot. Okay. Should I straighten it out? Should I leave it wonky, a little bit wonky? If I straighten it, it's going to get really thin. But isn't that the point though? Shouldn't I make it really thin? Maybe. I kind of like my knives to be on the thick side, but not if they're warped. See, because it looks like it's got a slight curve in it. It's got less mass on this side, so I just need to take a little bit more off so it looks a little bit better. Let's see. Yeah. Taking a chance because that's the crackly side. I just got finished removing a crack. I don't want to install another one. I'm not hitting it that hard, so don't worry. These are mild hits. I mean, you can worry if you want. Yeah. Ah, yes, that was good. Like when they curve like that, I'm wondering if it's because this turns a little bit. I wonder. Steppity-doo-dah. Ouch. I just tapped that and a big old flake came off. And it had a step fracture in it. I'm going to have to remove that from this side. Little step fractures, that's like $1 off. reduces the value by about $1. I'm thinking. So if you got like 20 little step fractures, that's $20 off. Right? Something like that. I don't know. I don't know. This edge, I didn't want to sharpen this edge because it was so wonky, but I'm gonna have to do it. I have to work with this edge. It's gonna be difficult not to install step fractures on this edge. 46 minutes. Normally I'm done with a point by now. Since these days I'm trying to be very, very careful. Relatively speaking, I'm still not careful enough. I'm still not careful enough for some of you persnicketies out there. Yeah. Persnicketies. And that's 46 minutes, even though I started with a biface. I should be ashamed of myself. I should be able to finish extremely quickly if I start with a biface. But like I said, some of you guys are more careful than this, and they're saying I'm going too fast. Yeah, way too fast. Gotta be more careful. Spend more time abrading. Spend more time calculating. Spend more time manipulating the edge. I'm trying. I'm trying just for you guys. Dang it. I hit it when I mess it up just at the end. Install a little crackiola into the side there. No, it didn't do it. It tried to do it. I tried to send up a flake to get that step from that side. It makes it cleaner if I can get it from that side. Instead of trying to pick it away. Sometimes the picking doesn't always work. And sometimes when it does, it leaves a step fracture. Another one. Just back-to-back step fractures. Let's see. I mean, it takes that one off, but then if I pick this flake off with enough force in the wrong direction, it'll cause a second step fracture. Alright, I'm gonna have to do this in my hand. Ouch, I did it again. See, when I do this, what happens is this pinches like that. I've had that cut my pant leg and cut into my leg just by that pinch like this when I do that. Okay. It's not doing it. See, this is all crackly in here, and it's got an inclusion. If I try to run a flake up there, I'm running the risk. But let's do it anyway. Yeah. Okay. Didn't do it. It went as far as that little defect right there. It's probably why it stepped right there too, because as soon as you get closer to that defect, the material changes. Yeah, I'll just finish it off with pressure. Okay, you convinced me. I'll do it with pressure. Some of you say, no, I didn't convince you. I want you to continue to get rid of that. More carefully. Do it more carefully. Oh yeah, I was saying that some guy thought I was from Hawaii, or thought he couldn't place my accent. Native American or Hawaiian. I'm not making fun of you. I thought it was kind of funny that people cannot place my accent, and it happens every time. Every couple of weeks or so, I get someone to ask me, "Where are you from?" You sound like my uncle or something. Where are you from? I'm not from anywhere. I've been moving around a lot. I'll let you know when I settle down in a certain spot. How's that? When I settle down and make a certain spot my home, I'll let you know that's where I'm from. Really? You've been there all your life? No. Why you had to ask that question? Of course, I have not been there all my life. Well, where are you from? You can never escape that question. Especially when the people can't place your accent. Come on. Don't make me sharpen the tip now. Don't make me sharpen the tip on you. Grind the crap out of the tip. See, I can sharpen this, and then those flakes, they will not argue. They might not be exactly what I want, but I'm not going to argue with the sharp tip. They will come off. Some might say, well, if they're not coming off right, you're not doing it right. So do it right and they'll come off. Yeah, I know. Can you see? Can you see that I'm messing it up? Not enough grinding. Should I just go with the flow on this tip? Yeah, probably. That'd be the smart thing to do. Whatever shape it ends up as, that's what it's going to be as. Nice. Should I make it a perfect taper? I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Always having the most trouble in the areas that I have the hardest time napping. Tips are the hardest thing for me, and that's where always, that's not always, but that's usually where there's issues. And the only thing that'll cure it is just round it off. Yeah, I should just start making rounded off points. Because now I'm doing artwork. I can do it if I want to. I can make rounded off tips. That would be much easier. Much more better. For me, anyway. Take $10 off the price for that one. Or more. Half price discount. Half price. It's got a rounded tip. Yep. I can just see it. Can you see? I don't like zooming in. I mean, I do like it, but not when I'm doing the aggravating part. Both my sons ganged up on me today and say I should do some polling on my channel. POLLING. And take a poll. What do you guys want to see? Yeah. I should do the community stuff. Yeah. Dad, you need to update your channel. Yeah. They ganged up on me. I was about to say, it's not your channel. Dang it. What you trying to say? What you trying to do? Trying to take over? I did not say that. They say it to help me out. I can still say mind your own beeswax. Yeah. I did not say that. I say polls usually don't indicate much. And then the first thing one of them said, it does indicate something. Yeah, it's going to indicate something. Somebody wants something. Yes, I know. Do I want to listen to somebody that wants something? Yeah, do I? What if that person wants me to do Folsoms? Am I going to listen? Am I going to do it? Do Folsoms on raw elebates, dude. Yeah. Just like they used to. Natural tools. Just like they used to. Do it like they used to. We're not going to subscribe. Nope. Should I be that way too? Comment on someone's channel. Hey dude, can you do a Folsom? If you don't do it and don't do it like they used to, I'm not going to subscribe. Nope. You don't want to see how they actually did the Folsom. You don't want to see that they're like 1.5 inches long or 2 inches long. You don't want to see that. That's how long they are in many cases. No, you want to see the 4-inch long Folsoms, the ones that are like 1% of the 1%. That's what bugs me. Yeah. You don't want to see the one side flute Folsom. You want to see the both side flute Folsoms. Yeah. And it's got to be 4 inches. Yeah. And I ask him, do you flint knap? No, I don't flint knap. Yeah, I kind of figured. That's why I asked, just so I can confirm my confirmation bias. I have confirmation bias, or I want it, I need it. Yes. It's funny how that works. How many Folsoms have you tried? Dude, I don't nap. Ah, yeah. How many Midlands or Milnesans have you tried? Crickets. They don't know what those are. Because they heard the Folsom was the pinnacle. Why? Because everyone else says it is. They've been chatting online. They don't know what the other related types are. They just know the Folsom is good. I want to see. Because it's good. I heard it was good. I heard if you can do it, you'll be the guru. Yeah. What if I don't want to be the guru? I'll probably end up doing it anyway. Show you all the secrets. So you can say, oh, I know the secret of how they did the Folsoms. Thanks, dude. And don't even hit the like button. Yeah. I forgot I was busy. Yeah, and they get in the chat room and they say, I saw a guy make the Folsom. I know how he did it now. Did he use method number 14 or method number 6? What? There's more than one way to do it? Well, yeah. Oh, dang, I didn't know. Now you know. Comes back to my channel. Can you do the way that they say you can do it this way, blah, blah, blah? Could. Could try it. We shall see. Only time will tell. This flint knap's easy. I'm so glad. At the end of the week, I'm not in the mood to fight with it. So what methods are there for making Folsom now that I've mentioned it? I brought it up. Might as well explain. What are the methods? Is there like 14 methods like you were saying? Well, if you count the jigs, yes. There are various jigs and crutches, pressure devices to create the flute through pressure. And then there's percussion devices to create the flute through percussion. And then there's flake over grind. You can grind the Folsom preform and flute it after it's already been ground to shape. Is that one of the original methods back in the day? Probably not. But you won't know because they eliminate the ground surfaces when they chip it. But I don't think they've ever found debitage with grindings on one side. So I don't think that was a method. I don't think. No, they were just really good at thinning. Yeah. Apparently they had a good system set up to where everyone learned how to do that thinning process. It was either an easy thinning process to learn, or these guys were all genetically talented, or both. I don't think any flint knapping method that involves thinning is easy to learn. So they're probably mostly just gifted artisans. It does run in families, so bunch of related families with the Folsom artisans in there. Yeah, because it's more of an art point than a useful point. Takes a lot of material and time to learn to do that. So they obviously didn't care about wasting material. And you don't see many failures or thick Folsom, so they either re-chipped or destroyed the ones that didn't work out. Re-chipped them into a scraper or something. I don't know. So that's the back side. It's going to be thicker than the blade side. I tried to thin that down as much as I could. Trying to nap through the cruddy stuff. There's a little bit of a wonkiness right there. I might try to get that out. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. If I work on that and try to take that out, I'm gonna lose width. But I'm gonna take it out. No, that didn't work. There, a little bit better. Some aggressive pressure there. There's passive pressure and aggressive pressure. Passive, you put pressure and let it release on its own. That's passive. Aggressive, you just pull the flake off in one motion. One quick motion. That's aggressive pressure. Passive, sit that on there and it releases on its own. Just increase the pressure. That's passive. Aggressive, you just push it off. That was passive. Passive. That was aggressive. Aggressive. It's very subtle. It's aggressive even if you don't use a lot of force. If you're just pushing it off like this, this is aggressive pressure, as I'm just pushing off the flakes. I'm not waiting. I'm not increasing the pressure slowly. It's just aggressive pressure. There's a couple ways to sharpen the edge. can do it that way by picking at it, or you can continue to push a little bit inward and thin it even thinner. If you just pick at it, the edge gets a little thicker, but you can continue to thin it by pushing inward like this, but it leaves the edge very delicate. Is that straighter now? That's a little bit straighter. It wasn't that straight back in the day. These edges, they didn't care about it too much back in the day. About straightness. The sharpness, yes, but straightness, no. Apparently the straightness don't matter too much to them in the past. Come on. That's kind of like in between passive and aggressive pressure. I kind of know when they're going to be popping off, so it's a combination. Come on. I try to wait a little bit. I think I needed, yeah, all right. That front edge was a little bit thick before. Okay. Hour and 13 is still good enough. Let's see. 5 1/8. I don't know what it was before. This is where your hand might come in contact with it. So I grind it back here. And I grind the stem just for grins and giggles. Helps to prevent it from snapping when you're trying to haft it. That's what I'm thinking. I do it on mine, so I'm going to do it on yours too. There you go. On mine, I always grind this hafting area. I just think it's a good practice. It's a good general rule. All right, so that's straight as I'm going to get it. I left a little central median ridge there. A little bit, tiny bit on that side. It's still kind of lumpy right there, but I didn't want to lose any of the width. Yeah. See, I tried to thin it down with pressure, but it just rides up and doesn't go any further. It doesn't go up over the top of the bump. Now, if I hit that with percussion, like I probably should have stopped and said to myself, let's just hit a couple of percussion flakes into that area, I might have gotten rid of that lump and gotten rid of that one. Well, that's all right. Okay. Oh yeah, thumbnail. Ooh, I hit that blade right on the lamp. Okay. Did I knock off anything? I think I knocked off a little bit. No? All right, good. Alrighty.